What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. Today's video, we're going to be diving into this book that I received in the mail, and this is layers and layers of issues here. If you guys watched a video that I did about a week and a half ago about a WhatNot seller, go check that out and come back to this video. This wasn't supposed to be a part two, but I won an auction book from that seller and I received it, and there are so many problems, and we're going to walk through this today. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, please take some time to do so. Check out all the links in the description below as well. But let's just get into it, folks. So just to give a little bit of recap, I went into some WhatNot sales with some credits. I had like $35, $40 worth of WhatNot credit. I was looking for some Silver Age Amazing Spider-Man to fill up my run with. And I ran into this seller who had a lot of Silver Age stuff, starting bids at $4. But the seller was just really, first off, saying that the values for these books were ridiculously high. Oh, this book is a $300 book all day. And then starting the auction at $4 and saying certain things like, oh, we're going to let it go away for that much. Come on. Oh, that's more like it. That's more like it when people would come and bid. And I did a video on that. I talked about it, and I talked about what I didn't like about that and what it does for me as a consumer to not purchase from these individuals. But I was there, and he had this book. This is Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 6. It reprints the first appearance of Sinister Six, which first happened in Annual number 1. It was a $4 bid. Some of the stuff was going for decent value, so I bid on it, and I won the book. I won the book for $45. So here's the interesting thing too, is on the listing, the book was listed as like a very good plus, but on the book itself, when it came in the mail, it was listed as a 5.5 fine minus. Now, I do believe it was more in the lower fine range, but interesting that there was two grades on it. The first thing I want to talk about, now, as you can see here, this was all that it was shipped in. This little envelope and a really raggedy thin piece of cardboard, not sturdy at all. There is a name for this kind of corrugated or something like that. It was bent. Look at this, folks. It was bent, and it's not sitting flat. It was between two. It was between this one and this one right here. This one wasn't really bent, but and it also has some bending around here. And this one was bent even more. I think I might have a picture of that. There was tape on, obviously, both of the boards, like, because it was sandwiched. But there was no tape connecting the book to the boards. And when I ripped this open with my fingers. I just took my fingers and ripped the corner and pulled it off. The bottom of the book was sitting out of the cardboard. It was sitting out of the cardboard, exposed. The book was in a bag, a standard poly bag and board. Okay. Now, but we're going to come back to that. We're going to look at the first issue, which is the pricing of this book, or the valuing of this book. Let's go here. Oh yeah, here's the damage. We'll talk about the damage in a minute. This individual has a $250 price tag on this book. And look at this. So this is the back of the book. He had it listed as a 5.5, which is a fine minus at $250. Yeah. Let's go to real-time sales. Now look at here's averages, right? The fine average in the fine range. Now remember, this is a 5.5, which is under the fine range. But the fine for cover price is like, I believe, fine minus to fine plus, $49. So technically, I got this book at what the fair market value is, around that $45 to $50 mark. This individual has a $250 price tag on it. Look at this. Even in a very fine, $130. Near mint, that's an outlier. Look, so we can look at the sales. There was an outlier book that sold at the peak of the beginning COVID boom, June of 2020, for $350 and a 9.4 raw. But it never sold close for that before. Even a most recent 7.0 sold for $130 just a couple of months ago. This is absolutely nuts. I mean, let's look at An 8.0 during the height of the COVID boom, 92. You do have an outlier here of a 7.0 for 220, and then an 8.0 for 300. But again, outliers, height of the COVID boom right here. Even in very high grade, this book has never sat in the price range that he's pricing this book. And it just blows my mind. So when you look at more of what my book is, the most recent sale for a 5.5 was $52. 5.0 for 45. What's the most recent 6.5 just a few months back sold for $48. And again, like even during COVID boom, nowhere near, there's not one sale that got anywhere close to, oh, here's a 6.0 during the COVID boom for 220. And then, of course, we would have to go do research on these sales. But outside of that, no sale got close to $200. Where is this guy coming up with his values and prices for these books? Blows my mind. I have no idea, right? So that pairs with the video that I made about just the watching the auction live and how he was gassing up people to, bid the books up. Don't let it go for that cheap. This is a $400 book all day when it was like a $30 book. And I'm like, no, this is, but again, what did I say? Buyers have to be responsible buyers. It's easy to have eBay sold or cover price right there as you're watching a sale. It only takes a few seconds to look it up and say, okay, this is going to be the max that I bid on this book. And if it goes over that, I'm pulling out because I'm not overspending, because I can go buy it on eBay right now for X amount cheaper, right? So I made a video talking about that, and I bought this book. It was with credit. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm good. I saw the video. The book looked decent in the live auction. So I was good. I didn't overpay for the book. I got what I wanted. I get it in the mail, and this is how it's shipped. There's obviously issues going on. Bag was wrinkled up. We got damage to the cardboard. And look at this. It's like almost every page of the book had crinkly crinkles in it. Really devaluing this book. Look at that. Just blowing my mind. So I reached out to this individual, and we're going to go over the back and forth that I had. So I took some pictures, and, I sent it to him, and I said, hi there. I received the ASM Annual 6 that I won in auction. I noticed that there was pretty bad damage. I don't know if this happened in shipping, but I did notice that the bottom edge of the book was outside of the cardboard. So that's what I said. It was like the book was exposed. In the shipping process, the book's probably just, shifting around in between the cardboard, and it was probably getting dinged, hit, whatever it was, and there you go. And he says this: send it back for a full refund. I also need pictures, a box, and a note saying the box was damaged. I will file an insurance claim. It looks very badly damaged from image. I reviewed the show, and it had absolutely no damage before it was shipped. Okay, so let's look at this. I believe him that the book didn't have this damage before it was shipped. I do. I believe him. Because I remember watching it. He had the books outside of the bag and board, and he was flipping them over and showing what they look like, and you could see the gray. This damage definitely happened between when the show ended and when it ended up at my house. So he says, first off, he says, take a picture of the box. Well, it wasn't a box. It was the envelope, and I think I did send him that. But he says, send it back. He'll give me a full refund. Okay, so he's offering me a refund, right? So that's not bad. And he's saying that if I send it back, he will file an insurance claim. So my response was this: I would rather still keep the book. The cardboard was a bit ruffled on that end, but I also noticed that the bottom of the book was slightly peeking out of the cardboard. I'll take more pictures when I get home. Is there any secondary option of keeping the book but offsetting the damage? So, and I did send him more pictures, but this is what I'm thinking at this point. I'm thinking, look, I bought this book with credit. I only paid like $10 cash. The rest was credit. Even in this condition, I'm happy to have this book for the 10 bucks that I paid. I am focused on my ASM run, which includes the annuals. I want to keep this book. I'm not a big grade person. I don't care that I own this book and it's in a lower grade now. It still presents nicely, and I own the book. And honestly, if the guy would have said like, "I'll give you 10 bucks back," or let me send you a couple of free books valued at 10, 12 bucks, I would have been happy. I would have accepted that. That works for me, because then it's a slight offsetting, you know, uh, reimbursement, and I'm good. I'm not being too picky here at all. And he says this: "Sorry, but due to people scamming me in the past, I only refund on 100% full returns. It is one of the reasons to stop doing eBay. I hope you understand." Now, you guys may be looking at this and saying there's no problem with what this guy's saying here, but I have intuition on what this guy's doing, and I'm going to explain that in a minute here. And I say, that's understandable, but I'm not sure how I could be scamming you. If I did send it back for that refund, will I get reimbursed for the shipping charges to send it back? And he says, yes, I will reimburse you shipping as well. I will reimburse you shipping as well. Use USPS ground. T. Okay. Oh, and then I say, okay, thanks for letting me know. I use, uh, I meant to say I use WhatNot credit mostly, so that's why I'm hesitant to return it, because I didn't spend too much and it's still a great book. I'm going to think it over until tomorrow to see if I still want to keep the book or if I'm going to send it back out. And he does say, your choice, by the way. I did not say you were scamming me. It's a policy implemented because others had done so in the past. Now, I don't know how I could be scamming him. I don't know if he could be thinking that like I had another copy of the same book in a lower quality, and I'm trying to say, hey, look, like it's not what you said it was and it's damaged. Who knows? But this is what I did. I opened a claim and reported damages. WhatNot refunded me 100%. So they gave me back the $35 credit and they refunded me like the 10 bucks that I spent. And they said, we've issued you, sorry for the inconvenience. We've issued you a 100% refund. Please, allow 3 to 5 business days for the refund to post. Don't worry about returning the book. You can keep it. Wow. So now I have the book. It's mine. I'm not returning it, and I got it for free. The seller isn't getting it back. I'm sure the way WhatNot works is he still earned that money. WhatNot is not docking him because WhatNot is protected with insurance. They have insurance for damages, and they're taking the hit on this. WhatNot's taking the hit on this. So this seller still earned the money that he earned for the book. I get to keep the book, and I got all my money back. So I got a free book. Now, let me tell you what the seller was doing. And if the seller's watching and wants to leave a comment or reach out to me privately and have a conversation with me and tell me that I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll entertain that conversation in admittance if it comes to that. But I know what the seller was doing. This seller knew that I could return this book to him. He would issue, and then he would issue me a refund for the full insurance, but then he would have the book back again. He would be covered under insurance, which means same situation. He would get paid one way or the other. He has the money for this book, and he wanted me to send it back so he can sell it again. Because I have a feeling that the way the insurance works is he would put an insurance claim in on my behalf as the buyer, just like I did, and they would have told him the same thing. Tell the seller that he could keep the book. We are reimbursing you, seller, 100%. This seller wants me to return the book so he can capitalize on getting fully reimbursed and then selling the book again. Because if that wasn't the case, why wouldn't he say just, hey, thank you for letting me know. These damages clearly weren't there before. I'm going to put in an insurance claim, and I'll let you know what you need to do at that point. And if it comes through, and then he could say, insurance claim has been handled. You're going to get reimbursed the funds and keep the book. Something along those lines. I'm telling you guys now, if anybody sells on Whatnot and they have information for me that I'm not privy to, please leave that in the comments below. But I just, there's no reason. Why wouldn't this individual tell me to file a claim? Oh, sorry about the damages. Go ahead and open a claim with Whatnot. Why? I'm going to tell you another thing that just pisses me off about this situation. And that's how this individual shipped the book. You're sitting here, you're a huge dealer of like Silver Age, Golden Age, all this stuff. And especially if you think this was a $250 book and this is how you're shipping it. Do you know I will use Mylar on books that are worth $20 and I ship them in Gemini mailers with padded protection still and in a flat rate envelope. You're selling top of the line keys, pricing them at hundreds of dollars. And you're going to cut corners and ship this in a freaking paper envelope with some curated garbage thin cardboard that doesn't even hold up because it bends and wrinkles around the edges, where you don't even tape the book to the cardboard and the book is exposed. And and I can't tell you what happened, but I can imagine it took a hit on some, maybe it hit something metal, right? The book was exposed and USPS is throwing stuff around. Come on, man. It's in a paper envelope. Own up to this. How long have you been selling comics? For how many decades did he say? He's been doing this, what did he say, for 4 decades, 5 decades in his live stream. And this is how you're going to ship what you're declaring a $250 book? Or are you just mad because it didn't get bid up to the value that you thought it was? Because it got bid up to pennies next to what? 1/5 less than your asking price. So you're going to ship it like this. And then you're not even going to tell the buyer, I'm sorry, go ahead and open a case with Whatnot to see if they will reimburse you. That's red flags to me. That ain't right. That ain't right. You don't ship comic books like this. Spend 75 cents more on getting a Gemini mailer. I mean, and you don't even need to use a Gemini mailer. I mean, I've showed that in videos. You can use cardboard, but make 2 things. And this cardboard was the same size as the book. It didn't have any space, like 1 inch to 2 inch larger. Then you tape your book to the cardboard so it doesn't slide around. This is amateur. This is amateur. Spend a couple more dollars on priority shipping, or even if you use Gemini with 1 comic book, you could do that. Ground. You could have shipped this ground as long as it was under 9 ounces. Which one you could declare 1 comic book to be under, especially with Whatnot. I know how Whatnot works. You can downplay the ounces and they'll take care of the difference. Amateur. So folks, just everything about this, going back, like I said, to the original video that I made about this seller, to the way he was running his auction. And again, it's not like he broke any law, but there's a way to do business. And when you do business like that, it pulls me away. For you to then ship a book like this, and then for you to kind of own up to the damages in some weird, strange way, to where you're trying to somehow get this book back and like sell it again. No. So I'm not dealing with this seller ever again. That's my video, folks. I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments below about all of the red flags. Like I said, go back, watch the first video, how he was handling the live stream, how he shipped the book, your thoughts on the damages, and your thoughts on how he handled the refund process and why he acts like this is a policy that he stipulates because of being scammed. I'm not buying it, guys. I'm not buying it, but big up to Whatnot for reimbursing me and allowing me to keep the book. I mean, that's big. Hats off to them. So there it is. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. Be well, and until next time.